welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing something completely different than I've ever done on my channel before, but I've been wanting to do this for a long time now. I'm doing a first-person analysis, and the Terran I've chosen today is uThermal. Kind of a joke. I've been wanting to do a first-person analysis for a long time now, but uThermal on his channel the other day was doing one of Maru, and he's like, hopefully someday we'll do one of me. So I decided to do one for uThermal. I know, I make all the dreams come true. Okay, anyways, uThermal kicks it off with a Marine Fast Expand. He did an 18 Scout. Okay, so this SCV gets here. It sees a Pylon and a Nexus. He knows this is completely standard. There's nothing, there's no sort of early mix-up Estrella could do. This is a really cool move that I haven't talked about on my channel. I've covered the Marine First opener, but I haven't covered how you can get a really fast factory because you went Marine First. And it's kind of like the best of both worlds of a 15 gas build and that fast tech, but also the economy of a 16 gas. So you just wait. Basically the difference is you just wait to get the reactor. You get the factory first, then you can grab that reactor. So notice, real quick over here, the positioning of his SCV. Do you see where he's clicked it? Like, this is a location that he knows is not viewable through normal AI pathing to scout. And I wondered how he knew that, but after seeing it from his first person point of view, you can see on your own map where your SCV is pathed and basically use that as your guide for where to put your starport. Just a cool little trick, I think. Kind of a danger of this build though is an adept pressure, right? But I think so far he's achieving with the build what he wants to. Okay, so Estrella knows where the starport is now. If I remember correctly in the VOD, Estrella didn't get to like naturally scout this. He did click his adept to go check in that direction. So uThermal taking that starport back home. He's gonna get a really fast barracks. He comes in. He sees units in position. Estrella spread his units out really well, and he sees a bunch of stalkers. So that's some good information right there. However, this build doesn't just, you know, it's not just about scouting. You do want to get some damage done with it because you've committed by proxying your starport like that and doing this kind of an opener where he did take a little bit of damage to that adept. He's getting by. Estrella's not reacting if he does see this. Drops it in a little corner. I like that. Estrella's still reacting decently. However, uThermal gets more scouting. He sees the Twilight Cancel. Knows it's researching.
I'm in a heap of trouble.
One thing I would have liked is if uThermal had maybe tried sending a Marine out to confirm the third, or just trying to get that medevac to sneak on out. Because he's a little lacking in information right now. Okay, so he scans, and he sees the double forge. To me, that would feel quite concerning, but it kind of lets him know like what uThermal, or what Estrella is most likely to do. Because he has seen the Twilight and that double forge, and he's seen a bunch of stalkers, he probably knows that Estrella is going to go mass gateway and not Colossus. At least not a fast Colossus. So from here it just looks like he's powering up to a timing. He's pretty much cut SCVs at this point. He's got perfect saturation into base. Okay, so he decides to go 5 racks. I think this is a really interesting move. I think if I had to make a guess why uThermal chose to go 5 racks this game, versus Protoss when I think 5-Rax is not as strong as it used to be is because he saw the fact that he's most likely confirmed that Australia is going to be going mass gateway this game. And so I think if it was a Colossus build, I don't think he would be doing this, because I think Colossus and shield battery with overcharge is really hard to win when you go 5-Rax. Also the fact that he's maybe feeling slightly behind in his opener, not getting as much probe damage as he wanted. But also, if you watch the series, uThermal did just play like a pretty long game, dodging disco balls like a complete boss. And maybe he just doesn't want to deal with that again. Okay, looks like he's gearing up to go. Something I'm curious about is why he's not pulling the boys now. Because if you've already committed to the 5-Rax, you know, your third's going to be so delayed.
Upgrade complete.
Like, you can get a macro transition out of it. It's just harder. So I am curious to know why he's just not instantly pulling all the SCVs and going for it. Because yes, that's a lot of zealots, but if he had the SCVs to buffer, I think it's fine, but I don't know. That's, you know, my low level thinking. So for now, he's just going to play a dance. Wait for a few more units to pop. Okay, this is a really sick move by Australia. So he got his zealots to charge really long. And they were able to drag mine shots onto uThermal's units. Okay, so he's going to pull the boys now. Clears out that little bit of detection. He goes out. And Australia's army still doesn't look that impressive to me. So like, while he's getting fast upgrades, I don't think like fast upgrades are as good as they used to be on Mass Gateway if you stay on Mass Gateway. Get some splash, I think it's a different story. But he's delaying his tech quite a lot. I do think it's interesting that he pulls off the gas. He does double check his gas saturation, sees if there's plenty of SCVs, and pulls off to make sure they're mining minerals instead. So now we have a full-on base race. I'm not sure why Australia is doing it, if I'm completely honest.
Base is under attack.
I don't think I guess he feels like he couldn't beat Australia's army, or uThermal's army. If I'm uThermal though, I'm terrified of a DT
Base is
just
under
basically
attack.
ruining this base trade. So I like that he does go into the main and
Our
natural and just really
SCVs
checks,
are under attack.
you know, what is Australia building.
Our SCVs are under attack.
So we're gonna
Base
have
is
the
under
mass
attack.
the mass float of 2022, sending all our
Base
buildings across
is
the
under
map.
attack.
Okay, so where uThermal is putting his mines, I think is so cool. Because uThermal's units are kind of spread out right now. He now sees the fourth base.
Base is under
And oh, look at this damage. Boom, just mine shot after mine shot on those zealots. Oh, it saves the tanks. Nice pickup. I think as uThermal though, this is a really hard situation to know, like, where am I at in this game?
Base is under
Because he
attack.
sees the fourth base, and so all he knows is just Protoss has really held down that pro key. So he doesn't know how many other bases Protoss has, and he doesn't know exactly how many
Our
probes are left
SCVs are
either.
under attack.
And in fact, I think if you look at the unit count,
Base
yeah,
under attack.
Australia's got 9 probes to 32. So uThermal's actually in a really good spot, but it's still hard to know this at the moment. So uThermal's gonna go clean up that last base. Or as far as he knows, the last base. Okay, kind of frightening because that Protoss army is just right behind. Those probes did escape. Okay, he's gonna go land his CC here. I guess Okay, this is cool. So using the barracks as a bit of a wall is really clever, especially versus the charge-out style. He sees another base. Oh, he actually didn't completely kill it. Okay.
Are under attack.
However, he's changing his mind about the location of it. I guess he didn't feel safe there because it's kind of like low ground, whereas this base that he's floating to now might be a little easier for him to take. He's just checking the watchtowers.
Our SCVs
Like, this
are
is
under
scary
attack.
because you just don't know how many bases Protoss has at this point and how many he's retaken. And again, you're not entirely sure. Like, he may have known that he killed a lot of probes, but it's hard to know for sure. And the fact that Australia hasn't left means he's feeling like he has some sort of way of coming back. Okay, so this is a really cool SimCity here with how he's going to land the barracks. And he's putting the mines out past the tanks, not in the tanks. Just good positioning. Again, just taking the map. However, I think going out into the map with your bio is kind of sketch. Should Protoss just show up out of the blue? It's also kind of funny that there's a pylon back there.
Landing zone.
We could use some help here.
Okay, Australia's fighting for that map control,
Your
and we see a red
forces are
blob.
under attack.
Widow Mines get some beautiful shots. Like I said, Australia's army, it may have +1/+1, but it is still just mass gateway. And when you have big chunks of bio like this, you're just not as afraid of that. It was a really good fight he took. And the game's pretty much over from here. He's gonna go out across the map. And awesome game by uThermal. Really fun, really cool to see his high-level decision-making in a base race scenario. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you did, please give it a like, leave a comment if you'd like to see more of this. Laters.